Welcome to the Shabby And Man podcast. We are partners, parents, podcasters, broadcasters,
and everything else in between. Right, you're back from holiday, we're refreshed, we're rejuvenated, we're revived, and we're raring to go, right?
How is it that I'm back from holiday and you are all those things? That sounds a bit strange. You said you are back from holiday and we are.
Because I had a holiday from you.
Oh, you had a staycation as well?
Yeah.
You had a staycation and you are all those things with beginning with R as well. Fantastic. Roaring to go, yes. And we've got so much to talk about because we're doing a podcast. We took a mini break and we wanted it to coincide with my 3 weeks in India, my 3 weeks away. But I think it's been over a month since we did our last podcast. And this is what, season 3, 4, 15, 18,
season
98?
4. Season 4, and I can see that you've another R word, a bit rusty. You forgot to say the intro.
Oh, what was that? A bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of chit, a bit of chat. No, that's a different show. What is my intro?
Are you trying to tell us that you do another podcast on the side?
I do indeed. And I do a radio show as well. I did my intro. Welcome to the Shabby And Man podcast. We're partners, parents, podcasters, broadcasters. That was my first line.
Oh yeah, it was.
Talk about who's rusty. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so let's start with the holiday, I suppose. How was your staycation? Go on then, tell us about it.
Oh, it was magnificent. You know how hot it was? It was probably hotter here than it was in India where you were. You know, it was as hot as, what is the benchmark for hotness? As hot as the filling in an apple pie at McDonald's.
Yeah, I suppose that is quite hot. Yeah.
You know, they always say, caution, this filling might be hot.
Yeah. Well, they say caution for many, many things, but you're right, that is normally scorching, it's not just hot. But, you know, the first 10 days of our holiday, I really felt, looking at the weather app, I really felt that as though we had swapped time zones, weather systems. Because Bangalore, it was raining virtually all day, all night, as it's meant to in this part of the world. And you guys were obviously wilting. I was reading about hosepipe bans, and I was reading about...
You didn't go to India in the monsoon season, did you?
Well, I did, but South India is not supposed to have such an intense monsoon, I think, as the rest of the country. But it did, and Bangalore famously always has hill station weather, which means that it's hot in the first half of the day, and then it used to have a little light shower every evening, which would make it absolutely perfect.
Talking about hill stations, isn't Ooty nearby?
It is, yeah. Ooty is nearby. So Bangalore was, when my mum and dad moved
No, it's a different
there,
state. Bangalore is Karnataka, I think, and Ooty is Tamil Nadu.
I could not be 100% sure. But you're right. When my parents moved in there, I have seen the change in the last few decades, you know. It was really beautiful. But this time round, the first 10 days, it was awful in the sense that weather-wise, we really had to time our visits to the restaurants, to our friends, to the shops and all the rest of it. But then after that, the second half of the vacation was absolutely fabulous.
You had to time it because of the barish?
Because of the barish.
वो पुरानी कहावत नहीं याद?
क्या?
कि जब बारिश पड़ती है
काबुल में लोग बादाम छीलते हैं.
Correct.
और लंदन में पीसते हैं. और लंदन में लोग they go about their business.
That's right.
हम ना काबुल में थे ना लंदन में थे, तो हमने इसलिए
Rain shouldn't hinder your day.
Yeah, it didn't, but you know how it is. And our kids, our boys, kids I say, teenagers, are now that age where, you know,
they want nothing to do with you.
No, they don't want nothing to do with me. That's all right, but not so much on holiday, because they're like, oh, you know, mom, the only difference is that because the drainage is so bad in India, you know, you have puddles and you have water logging, and that kind of affects the traffic and brings life to a standstill. Whereas the same amount of rain in this country is like water off a duck's back, pardon the pun, because the drainage system is geared for rain virtually all day, every day, all year round. But it was fabulous, and I think going back home after, this was our first trip after the pandemic. I was going to say,
start at the start. So what did you actually do there? But judging by your Instagram, at Shabby Sahi, मजे तो ने बहुत किए.
मजे तो छुट्टी में मजे करने के लिए गई थी मैं. Why? In the last podcast you said, oh, if you're going home, is it really a holiday? Of course it was a holiday. The highlight was meeting my...
All day I see snaps of you sitting in flashy restaurants.
Yes, of course I did. Met my friends, met my family. The highlight, like I said, was the fact that mum and dad were there, and for the first time my sister and brother-in-law also in the same city. So it's absolutely perfect. Meeting them beats anything else. But then over and above, how blessed I am, two of my closest friends from university, they happen to be, one lives there, the other made sure she flew in with her daughter only and only to see me and the kids. So that was fantastic. everything else.
I don't know. I'm conjuring up images of what? Sex in the City?
No, please. We are far cooler. We don't try that hard. But khana, restaurants, going out, going to the movies, shopping, everything else slots in. But the main purpose was a bit of a homecoming. And it was fabulous.
Just like that, you're back.
Yeah, just like that, I'm back. I know what you did there. Now, I mean, the only thing I felt...
Let's start from the start. खाया क्या तूने?
खाया तो बहुत कुछ मैंने. साउथ इंडिया में जो भी स्पेशल चीजें मिलती हैं, सब कुछ इडली डोसा.
Did you for breakfast have idli?
Yeah, idli, dosa, sambar, chutney. My mom's cook. My mom has trained her so well. She's so good. And every day she'd come and take a menu and she'd say, what do you want to have today for breakfast? Mom sat with me and we designed that. Which are the days you're eating out? Which are the days we're ordering in? And which are the days you want me or my cook to make something for all of you? So it was fantastic. And then I also did on the side, the imli lollipop and the amrood. My dad got me like about a kg worth of imli lollipop. I think the shopkeeper nearly fainted. Nobody had asked for so many imli lollipops ever.
I don't actually know what an imli lollipop is because us Punjabis, we say lollipop.
Yeah, you mean a chicken lollipop.
It's a piece of chicken, yeah.
Yeah, no. It is a lollipop, but it is tamarind paste with a lot of chili and salt and masala and all the rest of it. It's absolutely amazing. So I did all my street food things. I did chaat, I did amrood, I did imli lollipops, I did everything else. Vadas, dosa, filter coffee, unlimited virtually. And then we went to a couple of
filter coffee, did you do it? I remember when I went there last. Did you get that steaming patila, steel wala patila?
See, that's where you...
And then you put it into the patila
that's
and
where you
slurp it.
No, that's where you forget that we were in holiday in India. You don't have to do anything other than slurp. It is all done for you. No, somebody gets the patila, somebody filters the coffee for you, somebody makes it into a lovely brew, heats up the milk.
I don't think you got what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
It comes in a cup with a little...
वो तो यहाँ पे भी मिलता है with a little bowl underneath.
And then you lift it up.
That's the way it's done in restaurants. But I had it in my friend's house and I had it in a couple of other places, but they were not in restaurants. So it was given to me in a beautiful coffee mug. But my friend's husband...
But it was filter.
Filter coffee. My friend's husband, he told us the trick. And, he said that if you really want to do it properly, pakka, if you want to do it the South Indian way, then besides just filter your coffee, you add a spoon of chicory to it, which is what gives it a kick. And he says that those of us who've been raised on a staple of filter coffee from the time we were very young, we can tell immediately if it has chicory in it or not. Maybe others can't.
Chicory is available here as well, by the way. That was something that the British Raj, they brought in.
So he said you mix it and then you strain it and then you just leave it there to percolate in that filter. And then each time you want it, you don't heat the actual concentrate. You heat up your milk. And you have to, it's a bit like masala tea. You have to have a bit of sugar in it. Filter coffee without chini is no filter coffee at all.
If my food history serves me right, I think chicory was to make it a bit cheaper because coffee was very expensive.
Maybe. But now...
A bit like the Americans have meatloaf, which is half bread, I think.
And half meat. But I think now it's not so much to make it cheaper, but it has affected the taste profile, the flavor profile as well. So there are many people who prefer it with a bit of chicory. I'm sure it does something to it. But again, he told me that filter coffee, just like a sambar, just like a Punjabi dal, just like a kadhi, every family has its own has its own proportion. For instance, I liked just the concentrated liquor with hot milk and chini. My friend said, no. For me, I want the concentrated liquor or ada pani and doodh. It's not just doodh.
Is this the filter coffee which is drip, drip, drip?
Yes. And you leave it in that percolator to drip, drip, drip away in the corner of your kitchen all day long because it's a big one. And so people... everybody has a different preference. If you don't want it just coffee concentrate and milk, then you add a bit of water to it. If you want it just the coffee and the thing. And my friend's husband, because he has it ever so often, each time because we saw him on the weekend, he was at home, he wasn't at work. He's South Indian.
So it's authentic.
Absolutely authentic. And because each time he passes the kitchen, it's like he has it in a shot glass. He pours it in his little cup, which is really like a miniature cup.
Italian style,
espresso style.
They don't just sit down when they have their kitchen.
So he just each time he's just in the kitchen for one errand or the other, he has a shot of filter coffee. So
we seem to be going on to coffee a lot, but what my favorite coffee used to be?
What?
The Petne wali coffee. You know what I'm talking about?
वो भी किया मैंने.
I think it's 2-3 spoons of instant Nescafe with a drop of milk and some sugar.
Milk, नहीं pani.
And pani. Was it pani?
Pani.
And chini also.
Chini से ही वो झाग आता है.
And then you just keep
This is much before you
Churning it,
discovered.
as I say.
This is much before you discovered the electric whisk at IKEA, and then of course,
much before.
yeah, and the baristas and all the rest of it. They
Talking
do it
about
in their
IKEA, I
machine.
believe IKEA has just come into Bangalore.
That's right. Yeah, we went there one morning for breakfast. So the boys had their
What, you suddenly had
chicken meatballs.
I was going to say, you suddenly had desire to have meatballs.
No, they had their chicken meatballs because my sister wanted to shop. She wanted to pick up a few things, and it was fascinating because IKEA is a bit like, in India at least, in Bangalore, it is a bit like what malls have eventually become in India, where youngsters go there just to hang out, just to have maybe one coffee and spend their time indoors in an air-conditioned place. They may leave without buying anything.
That's why I go to IKEA as well. But did you not go around telling people? Where we come from, it's IKEA.
No, I didn't. No, we don't come from Sweden, you see. I know you like to think we do. We don't come from Sweden. But it's very strange. It's extremely high priced. I mean, here IKEA is seen as cheap and cheerful and durable, right? It's durability which people count on most. When you get something from IKEA, you know that it's not some tat which is going to, collapse in 2 days. But there, because IKEA, I think, has only been able to secure that contract from the Indian government on condition that most of the stuff will be made in India. The flip side of that is quality control is not exactly what it is in this part of the world. It's very evident. And even for a tiny desk, and I mean a tiny desk, which would possibly be suitable only for a 5-year-old, which would possibly hold only a box of crayons and an A4 sheet, I can't imagine paying 50-60 quid in IKEA over here. It was for nearly 6,000 rupees. And that too, no choice at all. You just had that one color. It's not that you can choose your... So that is something, anybody who's been to any IKEA abroad in the Western world, or even in Singapore, why Western world, anywhere outside of India, can immediately see that it's not just the fact that there isn't so much variety, even the quality is zameen asman ka fark.
So thumbs down for you.
Not thumbs down, but it's not the IKEA we know.
It didn't rock your boat.
No, it didn't.
What else did you do there? Oh, you did a lot of shopping.
I did a lot of shopping. I did a lot of... but COVID has changed things all over the world. Many of my favorite shops had closed down. Many new shops have come up. The two things that are not sold in India anymore, and if there's anybody who hears the podcast in India, if you'd like to contradict me, please do.
I know one. Is it going to be plastic bags?
No. Sadly, no. I wish it was plastic bags. The two things that I went from pillar to post, from posh malls to your street side shops to your sadak wala आदमी कहीं मुझे नहीं मिला. एक was greetings card. No one, because my parents' anniversary, my sister's birthday. So my sister's birthday we took the card from here, but from my mom and dad's anniversary, I couldn't get a greetings card anywhere.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
Dolce & Gabbana, Balmain fakes.
नहीं वो तो Dolce & Gabbana Balmain fakes नहीं थे. Believe it or not, the largest amount of t-shirts selling these fake prints were all, and I don't even know if they're fake, but they all had to do with Friends. Either Chandler's line or Joey's line, or I don't know. Friends is having a moment in India when it comes to the fake t-shirts market. So you had Friends.
They're probably not fake. They're probably what they make there.
Probably, but it's very tacky. It's very tacky and cheap. And you've got all your football shirts and all the rest of it. But a greetings card is something I could not find for love nor money. Secondly, no one. I was told by good bookshops, I was told by roadside people that no one buys CDs anymore, no one buys DVDs anymore. Cassettes to chori though. Everybody is going to give you an MP3 stick.
Because
no.
3 things I asked for, and you said, nobody buys CDs.
Nobody buys CDs.
Nobody buys this, nobody buys books. I said,
yeah. No, books nahi bola maine. I said, nobody buys, you wanted some devotional CD, right? Which is something you enjoy listening to here. And you have an impressive collection already. I don't know why you wanted to add to that. But because Om Jai Jagdish Hare is Om Jai Jagdish Hare. It doesn't change, with every season. Nonetheless, I went looking for it in 3-4 different shops.
I don't want to always hear it in Anuradha Padwal's voice.
Poraval. But anyway, so they said, no, we can give you an MP3, but we can't give you a DVD, we can't give you a CD. So that was that. And I had so much trouble finding magazines.
That's right.
Our stack of favorite magazines. I have got you about 6-7, but only one of them is a travel magazine, 1 or 2. because they said that no, either it's become subscription only. Earlier you'd find Outlook, India Today, Time, all of those by the roadside. So those roadside guys have gone. But even when I went to the big bookshops,
this is due to COVID.
Due to COVID. Even when I went to the bookshops in duty free at the airport, my dad gets Time, my dad gets India Today. They're both on subscription. So my dad said, I have no idea where to buy them in the shops.
I thought everyone in India gets Reader's Digest.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Times have changed.
Times have changed. And yet I see all these people have Instagram pages. So they're still being published, whether it's a Cineblitz, whether it's a Stardust, whether it's a, Condé Nast Traveler, all the rest of it. Where are they selling? I have no idea. So that was that. A lot.
Stations and airports.
पूरा podcast तो मेरे उसमें ही निकल गया. अब और कुछ किसी के बारे में बात करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे?
Okay. So
anyway, the long and short of it was a fabulous 3 weeks off, and I can't wait to go back.
You enjoyed your trip.
I enjoyed my trip. So did the boys, actually. And I'm so pleased to say that our teenagers have grown up to be boys who adjust. There were days when they were bitten by mosquitoes and all kinds of insects, and there were days when they said, oh, Nana Nani's mattress is too hard. We find that the bed is not what we are used to, or things that gave them a bit of a dodgy stomach. But it was only for a very short period. Before they knew it, they were eating everything, they were drinking the water, they were drinking the milk, they were eating everything that my mom was making, they were eating everything in restaurants.
Don't tell me. You took them to, I hope you didn't take them to those Pani Puri places where the guy puts his thumb
Pani Puri I didn't.
Where the guy puts his thumb in.
I did. Now he has a glove on. But again, you don't know how many days that glove has been on.
And then scratches his... Anyway.
Please. So that I didn't risk this time. Also because, COVID is on the rise everywhere in the world. And Bangalore, believe it or not, obviously everybody was quite apprehensive because Bangalore's the metro which had the highest number of cases. So we were trying to be careful as well. But I'm so pleased to see that they're hardened travelers. They would be able to, every time they complain. And I said that, how will you ever be able to see the world if all you ever want is things that you're accustomed to? Where is the fun in exploring a country which is completely different from your own? So I'm very happy to see, very pleased to see that they're very good at adapting to a new place. What else?
Well,
Bollywood. I think we should just make a different podcast on that. Or you reckon should we quickly touch upon the films and the stories that were making headlines? That's one of the most
surprising things, that you took a total Bollywood detox.
I did.
You didn't watch a single movie.
Nope. Not at all. And I didn't want to because it is part of my work.
I saw one movie, by the way, when you were not here. I saw it on, I can't remember, it must be Netflix.
Yeah.
I saw Jug Jug Jio.
Yeah, it's not Jug Jug Jio to start with.
Jug Jio. Which I loved. It's the kind of movie you'll hate.
Yeah, it's the kind of movie you'll
love. It.
Yeah, because Punjabi humor is not to everybody's liking.
It made me laugh.
Good. I'm so pleased. I'm pleased because it's definitely on my never watch even by mistake list. And
why? You're quite happy watching very light-hearted crap, as they say, Masaba type.
Masaba actually had something to say. I'm quite impressed, I have to say, because we saw season 1, we binge watched season 2 as well, and at the end of the day, it's quite amusing only because you never quite know where they're drawing the line between fiction and fact. Because she's name checking people in her life, those who are actually her friends and her social circle. She's talking about events that have actually happened in her life, like her divorce and things like that, even if it's a passing reference. But then again, they've mocked up these characters and they've mocked up these scenarios which you clearly know.
I was just a bit shocked at how rude it was. I mean, not rude as in rude, but a bit
I was shocked at how comfortable mother and daughter were speaking in that language. That was a bit shocking. But then Neena Gupta has always been outspoken, and she's always done shocking things, starting with having Masaba when she was an unwed mother and all the rest of it. So it's okay, it grows on you. But I think it was definitely entertaining. It had something to say and something to offer.
You didn't watch anything, did you?
I didn't.
But I believe that there's lots of new things on. There was Indian matchmaking that we haven't seen.
We hadn't seen the first season.
I think Bollywood Wives is coming out any day now. It's probably come out.
Yeah.
Never Have I Ever. You haven't watched that either. No. Delhi Crime is out. You haven't seen that.
Yeah, Darlings.
The
biggest disappointment was Lal Singh Chadha. If it was a hit, and because there are certain critics, certain people, you can immediately tell, once the film is out.
It's going to be on Netflix very soon.
Yeah, and I was in India. You can immediately tell if it is a story that you want to make the effort to go and watch on the big screen. If it was one of those films, Amir Khan is one of my, if my most favorite
I know, he's
Bollywood
my
actor.
favorite actor.
I would have made the effort to go and watch because the boys were watching.
So why did you not go and watch it?
No, because I could just
You
sense.
could tell it's not
I
good.
could sense. Even when the songs came out, when the songs I loved, I'll be honest, Kahani and the other one I loved, but the video didn't do much. You know,
And I think Shamshera came out when you were there.
Shamshera came out.
That was a flop.
No, Shamshera came out before I left.
Liger came out recently. That's flopped.
Raksha Bandhan.
Raksha Bandhan flopped.
Yeah.
So this boycott Bollywood movement
Yeah.
is
Khair,
working.
iska to it is like bit like Me Too, ye boycott Bollywood, nepotism, ye sare they come and go in waves, you know. In the larger scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, but I hope that Bollywood will now take note and realize that the public verdict now is something which is so transparent. It's not something they can buy, it's not something they can mask or shy away from.
You know, the next two are going to be obviously Brahmastra and Vikram Vedha,
Vikram Vedha.
which have already got those, let's boycott them, already started.
Yeah, if it's been well made, if it's a good story, I have absolutely no problems with watching these things. I just feel that Bollywood needs to be a bit more aware of what people want, and it has to really work hard now to come up with good, nice, creative storylines.
And you know how they like to do trailers? Well, I saw a trailer on a big I went to some place where they showed this trailer.
Yeah.
On a big screen.
Yeah.
And it's a Pakistani movie called The Legend of Maula Jat.
Yeah.
And that looks quite interesting.
That looks interesting. They're saying that it's made in the gladiator kind of mold. That's also big because Legend of Maula Jat, apparently it's a remake, so people are very keen to see what they've done to the original storyline. B, it has some of Pakistan's biggest stars from Fawad Khan and Mahira Khan and Hamza Ali Abbasi and Gohar Rashid and you name it. And because it's apparently the director who's making it, Bilal Lashari, he had another film out earlier which was a big hit, and mujhe lagta hai dekh kar na, if you look at his Instagram, he fancies himself as a bit of a Christopher Nolan, I think, because I think he's completely trained abroad and he's thrown everything, all his expertise at this film.
I wonder if they'll show this movie in India though.
I doubt it. I don't know actually. But anyway, it looks very promising, and apparently the trailer in Pakistan has got the most number of views that any trailer has ever got.
Isn't this the movie that's taken years and years to make?
Yeah, about 4-5 years, I
Look
believe.
what's happening to Brahmastra now.
Yeah,
most people will probably not watch it now because it's gone on for
feels
so
so
long.
dated. It feels so. There's nothing fresh about it because you've heard about it for so long. But then Legend of Maula Jat, and I also want to talk about the fact that Pakistan, for the first time, had the courage to put out their own version of Big Boss. Big Brother,
was
Big
it Tamasha?
Boss. Tamasha.
I have read,
Everybody's talking about it, and they're talking about the differences. There were some critics who said that, they've completely lifted the set from Big Boss. They haven't done anything different. Copy karna hi tha agar thoda apna creative idea nahi laga sakte the. One was that. Many people pointing out, because people in Pakistan are big fans of Big Boss as well, by the way. And they're pointing out the differences as well, obviously for certain reasons, for certain social and religious reasons, the girls, the females, the women would be in one room and the men would be in another room, and so that people suddenly developing romantic feelings towards each other or a bit of a hanky-panky, that's not something you're going to see in Tamasha. Also, they're saying, someone very pertinently pointed out that Big Boss Mena, even if they weren't celebrities, even if they were C-D list celebrities, they were people who were controversial. They were outspoken. You knew that the moment they stepped in, they would stir up some trouble and make it good television.
That is the whole point of reality shows.
But they're saying that in the Pakistani version in Tamasha, that's what they're saying, that none of these people look like, characters that you absolutely must watch because they're going to stir up trouble. So anyway, it's early days. I believe they've only had about a week of shows airing. And one of their biggest stars, Adnan Siddiqui, is hosting it, doing what Salman Khan does. Again, another difference. Salman Khan, apparently, you and I, we've never seen Big Boss, right?
We haven't seen it, no.
So Salman Khan apparently only appears on the weekends, right? And he speaks to the contestants. But this man, Adnan Siddiqui, this gentleman, this superstar, he lives in the same house as the contestants. He occupies one room. And they see him every day.
So there is a bit of difference.
That's about it, they're saying. But anyway. That's that. I think we've gone on for far too long. But it's been great being back. If you missed us, please let us know. If you didn't miss us,
please let us know.
And
how do you let us know?
On social media and on various platforms. I'm sure if you found us found a way of hearing this podcast on a social media app, I'm sure you'll also find a way of getting in touch with us if you wanted to.
Yeah, so when you leave that 5-star review, also write, by the way, we didn't miss you. Yeah, we don't mind.
All right. Thank you so much. Until next time then.
Till next time. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.